That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just sent him a request. He said he's ready. So 10 minutes. 10 minutes turned into 20. 20 minutes. I just sent it to him. He's coming on right now, Jim. So just letting you know. Oh, it says he is waiting for him to queue in. Token up, man. You got some good stuff in there?
A little bit of Jack Herrera.
Jack what?
Jack Herrera.
Okay.
Really good strain.
I don't smoke weed at all. I think the last time I hit it, I was 22, but I was watching an old show of Bill Maher, which was last week, and I know I've been watching Jim Belushi's got a show on I think Discovery. You know, he's a pot farmer now, and pretty interesting. You know what I mean? He said something pretty crazy. He said, you know, if we knew what marijuana was used for, you know, and when my brother died, you know, he might still be alive. And I thought that was pretty crazy. You know what I mean? You know, they were, you know, basically in the 80s and the 70s, definitely when his brother died, you know, marijuana was a gateway drug. And of course, you know, it led to his overdose and you know, a different drug. But, you know, he said if that was because, you know, he said his brother had some anxiety, had some issues. We talked about it last week. They said he probably had CTE because he was a football player in college, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why he committed suicide. So, you know what I mean? I thought that was pretty interesting. And that's why he kind of got into the business of growing, you know, marijuana. I thought it was pretty interesting.
It cures quite a bit.
Right.
It definitely cures quite a bit. I'm a big advocate of it. I use it for my son.
Right.
As I said before, me and my ex-husband, we own dispensaries. I've been a grower for years. So it's definitely something that, you know, they put a stigma on it, you know, for years and years and made it a felony, like it was heroin and all those things. And it's really, it all boiled down to money and profit at the time. And, you know, you can't make money on something people can grow in their backyard. So.
True that.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
He said, you know, and I think he says he's an advocate of trying to he's got another organization that's going on where he's trying to get felons out that were prosecuted for marijuana and stuff like that. So
huge.
You know, I was like, man, this guy, that's great. You know what I mean? Like,
it really is.
Yeah. So, hey, brother,
what up, bitch? Let me change my background.
Hey.
Let me change my background. Chill out. Hold up. I got a headache. I don't need to.
Is someone hungover?
No, I just got a headache.
Well, y'all be prepared for me to be hungover tomorrow because on our next podcast, I might just be streaming drunk. I don't even think I'm going to sleep tonight. So
at least you're honest.
Prepared for that.
Oh my God. At least you're honest. My God.
It's me.
Hold on, wait.
Keeping it real always.
I'm gonna fly out there just to have a shot with you.
You should. It's gonna be a good time.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to show some support there. What are you sitting low? Are you sitting on the floor?
Who, me?
Yeah. Are you sitting on the floor?
No.
Okay.
I might have to call and get a hydration pack tomorrow.
Hey, I think I hear my mom call.
Damn. I'm for real about to fly out there now. Damn.
Oh no, Vegas is next weekend. This weekend I'm just going to
hydrate together.
Harrah's?
I'll bring the
water.
Is
that the name of the casino, Harrah's?
You guys are going to Harrah's?
Yeah, it's my girlfriend. Shout out to Joy. Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah, happy birthday, Joy.
Yeah, and happy birthday, Drake.
And happy birthday to you too, Dre.
thank you.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good time. We'll have some drinks for you. You should come out.
Well, you know what? We'll have a shot in just a second here, so hold on.
Right. Hey, man, it's costing us money, man. You got to hurry up.
All right.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, he got the suit on. Damn, I knew I should have suited up.
Damn.
He's suited and booted today.
Yeah, he's looking fly.
Alex, Sports Mom. Turkey Savage Kitty. This is John. I went to high school with his brother. Played football. So let me start. Give me a second. I'm just waiting for it to start. So give me a second. See if it starts. All right. It looks like it's on.
Yeah.
So let's cue this music up. Jesus Christ.
No, we'll have a new intro soon. It's coming. Yeah, I'm tired of this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, good morning. Good morning, y'all. It's October.
Good morning.
Oh my God. It's beautiful here in Phoenix, surrounding areas. It was 68 degrees when I woke up, so fucking amazing. I know it's cold in Detroit. I just talked to a couple people. They said it was like 40 degrees. So,
Yeah, it feels good over here.
feels good.
Sleeping weather.
Sleepy, cuddly weather. Hot,
That's
warm.
why I look sleepy still.
Well, I hope you had a hot, warm body next to you and it wasn't a mess.
And if you didn't, you better go find one.
Well, oh my God, here we go.
So, welcome, John Everson, career paramedic, business owner. How you doing, John?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for having me, Enrique.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring you on. I went to high school with his brother. He's dabbled in a lot of different things. So let's talk about it. I know we talked the other day. So he said he's been a career lifetime paramedic. He's
Wow.
working with ketamine, and I think I sent you guys the webpage kind of about ketamine. And I know, John, I know we had a conversation. Special K, the date rape drug, it got some bad vibes, right? I mean, I was in college when that term was thrown around, right? Definitely never, I never seen it. I know it was like some kind of a, I really didn't know too much about it. I didn't need to have a drug to have sex with anybody, but tell me a little bit what you're doing now.
Hope
So,
not.
a little bit.
It's a dissociative anesthetic. It's been used for years. Got a lot of bad mojo wrapped behind it because of the high propensity of abuse, but pretty therapeutic off-label doses in regards to depression, treatment-resistant pain. Lyme disease is specifically for what we use it for, mental wellness. A lot of off-label uses that are pretty surprising.
So you were telling me that is the military using this if a soldier gets wounded? Is the government kind of saying, hey, you know what, this is an alternative medicine instead of, people can get hooked on pain medication, heroin, Percocets, whatever the case may be, right? Is this an alternative? How addicting is it? Tell me a little bit about it.
Low propensity for addiction. Military uses it. That's basically one of the places it was discovered for its multiple uses in regards to not only pain, but mental wellness. It's it just has so many uses. It's been used for a long time, but just has gotten the bad rap for being Special K and being cat dust, whatever other street names that it's called. But pretty therapeutic, pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean, treatment-resistant pain, when somebody's been taking pain meds for years, taking more and more and more, they're finding that this is one of the few alternatives to continue to take those meds.
So walk me through. I come to your location. How does that work? Do I see a doctor first and say, hey, you know what? I got a bad back, whatever the case may be. How does that work? Tell me a little bit.
Our indication is specifically for Lyme disease and the co-infections of Lyme. But yes, traditionally you could come to our or a pain clinic that offers ketamine as an option, and just show your documented proof of prior injuries, obviously that injury being exacerbated multiple times and not being able to be remedied by the traditional therapies. And then we would move forward and choose a treatment regime that would probably be most therapeutic. Doesn't always work, but probably 3 to 5 treatments of ketamine. And, it's just an adjunct to other therapies, though. It's definitely not a cure-all.
Okay. So do I come weekly? Hey, you know what? My pain's back. I mean, how does that work?
Again, we only treat predominantly Lyme disease, so our protocols are Lyme specific and vector-borne specific. There's different protocols for mental wellness. There will be different protocols just specifically for the pain and different doses. But 1 to 3 treatments, you notice a significant improvement in that said pain, and probably have to come back intermittently and less frequently over time for boosters.
Okay. So does it help with anxiety, people having trouble sleeping, that kind of stuff, or?
Most certainly. Significant for anxiety, resistant depression, anxiety. It does help take the anxious edge. More depression, more mental unwellness. Yes, definitely for insomnia, but nothing that you should be taking nightly like Ambien, to get to sleep, so to speak.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Very global medication. So
right.
It's interesting. I have a friend that's battling Lyme's disease. She's been battling it for years now. Great girl. She's in Metro Detroit. Her and her husband have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on going to different doctors and treatments and trying different things. I'm definitely going to pass your information along to her. There might be something that she could rack your brain, or you might know somebody that could point her in the right direction of somebody else, or even, treatment from you. She travels all over trying to get this under control. So I didn't know that you could use that for Lyme's disease. That's incredible.
Right.
That's incredible, because I watch her battle and I see the things she goes through, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. And she's such a good person, and I always feel bad because I don't have any answers for her, and I usually have a lot of insight on things like that. And so it's definitely it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's good to know.
That's my crusade. I'm a big advocate for Lyme disease, so please pass the information on.
I'm absolutely. As soon as we're done, she'll be the first person I contact. So be expecting to hear from her.
Yeah, for sure. That kind of just blows my mind. Like we talked about, off air, Drake. Like when you heard the name Special K, I mean, like, oh my God, people are like, oh, is that a drug? Is that, but it's come a long way, and that's it's pretty mind blowing to me. So, but that's a good thing now, obviously. So, that's amazing. So, definitely gonna do my own little research and stuff like that. So,
I'm excited to pass this information on.
Yeah,
I have goosebumps because I watch her struggle.
Right.
I've known her for years, and just the things that she goes through, and her family and her husband's family. And I mean, they have a lot of lucrative businesses, and all of their money just constantly is being poured into trying to find
Right,
something to help her.
right.
And she has these flare-ups, and they're putting her on steroids, and they're doing this and they're doing that.
Right,
It's
right,
it's
right.
it's crazy. I can't even go into the amount of craziness that happens for her. There's days where she's like, I just want to die. I can't control this.
Right.
She's
Wow.
had the ducts in her home changed. They've literally moved houses several times to try to get away from certain things that trigger stuff for her.
Right.
So she's like, I'm literally allergic to my entire body, and the
Wow.
pain is just excruciating. So yeah, I'm
That's
really excited
crazy.
to pass your information along to her.
Thank you.
So John,
Thank you.
I want to tell you, man, you look like $1,000,000. I love that suit. So I just wanted to tell you, I love your suit.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I got
Yeah, I got through watching, like I told you, Drake, I've been marathoning, How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show, but Neil Patrick Harris, that's like his one-liner, man. He's like, suit up. And I was like, I wish I would have suited up, but it's all good. Nothing better than the guests looking better
Suited and
than
booted.
the host. So,
Well, you got the whole Comaniac
that's
going,
awesome.
so you're good.
Yeah, right. Yep. Say your
Right?
prayers, take your vitamins.
Hey. Words to live by.
Yeah.
John, because I know we talk off air about politics and sports and life and all that good stuff. The president came out not last night, but the night before at White AM and said he had contracted COVID. They just had a press conference updating him on COVID, and I guess he's doing fine. He's getting the best treatment, right? Because he's the president, right? So,
Sure.
no, I hate to say this, but I know you're the naysayer, right? So tell me, what's your thoughts on COVID? Because this is why I brought you on. So yeah, there you go. Situation that headset. Let's dive in.
Get drink here.
I mean, I'm not a virologist, but I just think something stinks in Shitsville. We have 328 million approximately and in the United States, and 207,000 confirmed deaths. 0.0000. How many zeros before that? 9?
Too many.
I just don't see that it's a reason to shut down the economy. And I think that, like a lot of things, fear and disinformation predicate or are supposed to predicate how we are supposed to react to things. And I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know. It's how it's worded. It's how people act. It's just something's not right. It's just fishy. And I'm not a big advocate of. I'm not huge into sports. I'm not huge into certain things that other people are extremely passionate about. My passions go elsewhere. But flying back from
East Coast.
North Carolina. Flying back to the East Coast a couple of weeks ago, the plane was packed full. And, is it American Airlines is not being responsible and doing what a reasonable organization should do, like the NFL, to just empty those seats, look past the dollar? And they're setting a great precedence, sports in general, by actually not allowing people to come in and visit the stadium. And I thought one of the best things I've seen in the sports world was that guy that snuck into a Dodgers game and tried to pretend he was a cardboard cutout. It was like, I think that, though I'm not a season ticket holder and I'm not passionate about my team colors and wear it on my chest and fly my flag, I think people are really, I think something is really unfortunate and something really stinks in regards to the fact that they're not able to enjoy sporting games, but we can still pack ourselves into supermarkets. We can still, life is basically as we know it is returned to normal, except we're all wearing a mask. And then there's certain big butts, and those big butts, they smell really horrible, and they're,
So-
and again,
For
that's
the
my
wrong
thing.
reason, right?
Take me through it. So you're telling me, we talk all the time about sports. Yeah, they're not letting fans into football games, right? They're not letting fans
Right, right.
into the bubble hockey that they just finished. They're not letting fans into basketball, but they're packing planes. So you're telling me, is it the almighty dollar? That's really what it comes down to, over safety? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't get it. I don't get it either. You know, like even like a couple months ago, you know, they didn't open the gyms, but then they had certain like churches open, and like it's like I'm it's confusing the world, not just me. You know, it's like you got this open, but you don't have that open. You know,
Very little rhyme or reason.
right.
So
You know, and if you could separate people, at sports events like the college games, there was people there,
right.
and they were separated, but there was some groups.
I don't mean to interrupt you. So John, Alex
Oh,
is
go ahead.
right. So they're more of a liberal state, right? The governor has pretty much shut that state down. Now we're in Arizona, more of a conservative Republican state, right? So we're been more open. We really shut down. So that's the reason why I wanted to kind of interrupt you, Alex. But go ahead. I just wanted to give him some
That's
back.
okay. No, I want to hear what he has to say. I mean, I really don't have an answer for it. Like kind of like he didn't. It's like, you got this open, but you don't have that open. You got this business open, but so it's like it's confusing. I mean, I don't get it. Like I asked you, do you have your theaters open over there?
Yes.
Because I want to take my daughter to a movie over here, and I missed the theater. I missed the theaters. You know what I mean? So I don't go out. I don't go to bars. I don't party like that. And that's my party, is going to watch movies, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. So that's why I had asked you that. But obviously they're not open over here, and I don't understand that those types of things, like what's going on. I know the governor, it goes by the governor and all that stuff, type of stuff like that. But I just don't understand what they're looking at. Why they're making certain judgments and stuff like that. I really don't. I don't understand it. It's crazy, and I know it. This is the first time something like this has ever happened. This made an impact like this on everybody, on the world. But and maybe they're new to it, and they're I'm sure it's hard to deal with and everything like that. But but I mean, those are like kind of common sense things to me. Like, well, you got you're opening the gym, but you won't open the movie theater. I don't get it, what I'm saying? So, and just because I'm a sports guy, it doesn't mean, let's, open the stadiums and stuff like that. But I would think you can separate, like we talked about this off air, you can separate people. Every 6 seats, every 10 seats, get, 5 people to a row. I mean, there's things you can do. And I'm just a little confused on everything as far as it goes. So that's really all I got to say about that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's confusing, but I mean, I admire the NFL and I admire the sports commissions for providing the oversight and setting the standards they have. Ultimately, if it were about money, they're big enough entities that they could say, "No, we're going to have games." Sorry,
Right.
And they could be packing the stadiums if it were about money.
Right.
But they're not, and that shows reasonable and considerate and competent oversight, even though their information that they're receiving changes weekly. Is it airborne? Is it droplets? How communicable is it? So I mean, just because I'm reckless, it's neat to see. At times, it's neat to see those entities being absolutely fair and responsible with the information that they have, which I doubt is worthwhile information.
Right. And unless you're Jerry Jones and you just want your money. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to be like that, but he wanted to fill. He wanted his stadiums filled. He wanted to let people, and I don't understand it. And nobody says nothing about it. And I'm not, I'm a sports fan, and it's not that I yes, I dislike the team as a fan, but like that, I was like, when my cousin told me about that, I said, that's Jerry Jones. It's what he does. That's what people with a lot of money do. They want more and more. They don't care. And, it just blows my mind, how nobody says nothing about certain people and like that. and it's
Do
not about
any of
me.
you,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead,
Do
sorry,
any of
I'm done.
you think, no, sorry. Do any of you think that this is all the back and forth, the misinformation, the confusion, all of this is all a domino effect from the country not taking it seriously to begin with, like the other countries did, and shut down immediately to handle the situation at hand as soon as things started popping off? I mean, I feel like this is all just a trickle down domino effect of the lack of responsibility and care. Everybody, you have people divided. Oh, it's fake, it's this, it's that. When your family member passes away, it's not fake. And I've had several members. My aunt, she had to die alone. My parents were both hospitalized at the same time. My father, who has a condition, my mother was worse off than him, and we thought it would be the other way around. I have family members who have lost friends and a lot of people in the Metro Detroit area, and I feel like all of this confusion that we're going through now is all stemming because there was lack of efforts and action from the get. This is all just a domino effect of that. Now everybody's all over the place. So there is a lot of confusion, but somebody has to, be accountable, and people have to take accountability for their lack of action to begin with, whether they believed it was real or not, whether they thought whether it affected them or not. Clearly, and however it started, at this point, it doesn't matter. It's still something that's making people sick. Nobody knows enough about. So that in consideration, this is the result of it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. The communicability obviously is rather severe, and obviously, I mean, it's all of our responsibility. But I mean, in our social networks, not being able to see your friends for a couple months and not being able to go out and hug and kiss and love and I mean, I don't think. I mean, the suicide rates are going to go through the roof if we close down again. I mean, it's just going to happen. I don't see that. One death is one death too many. But
absolutely.
I also have a different perspective of that, thinking that you can't call it a pandemic until it's 1/8 or 1/16 of the population that suffered, not 0.00009%.
I know we're the numbers guy. You're the numbers guy. Fight Club. Tell me a little bit. You just touched on it. So, you just said pandemic. So is it an actual pandemic because the numbers are not saying that? I mean, because proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
So tell me a little bit.
No.
You touched on it.
I mean, again, I'm not a virologist, but I don't find the severity and the concern as, I mean, maybe I'm reckless. I still wear my mask. I mean, on a long enough timetable, all of our life expectancy comes to zero.
Right.
I mean, there's a social responsibility, but that's not the living in fear and shutting down our whole economy over these things. I don't think it's reasonable. And it's like, I could give you all the statistics in the world, but it's like religion. It's a lot of it comes from the gut. A lot of it just comes from self-belief. A lot of it comes from, I've seen a lot of people suffer from it and be afflicted by it. And I understand that it bears 10 times the toll on your immune system if you're already immunocompromised. But it's,
So who takes
I'm
responsibility?
trying to obviously be political, but
Right. But I mean, who takes responsibility at the end of the day? Is it Trump?
ourselves.
You know what I mean?
No, ourselves.
Right. Yep. I
Okay.
definitely agree with that.
So Amazon, and I know you're a numbers guy again. So Amazon, 16,000 cases across their businesses. Kind of crazy. I know Alex worked for Amazon before, but
Yeah.
a lot of freaking people that are getting sick. Of course, I've never been in a facility, but I've seen it because I had the food truck.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I wasn't at the warehouse.
Right.
Close you are in proximity to the other worker, but wasn't that inevitable of these people?
It depended. It depended on like where you're working at, and I did like stowing, which means like I was the one scanning your cell phones, one screw in a bag, scanning it, sending it out, putting it in a pod. That was that the pods would come to you.
But
They had different
employee.
Oh, you were like, oh no, you had your own like your own section. You were like I don't know, almost like 15 feet apart. You had you was in there was gates already, block offs. So I'd be in my own area, whatever. Then they're all numbered because there's 3 floors. Just to give you an example, give you an idea, a broad idea of how big Amazon plant is, at least in Romulus, Michigan over here. It was like 16 football fields, if you could put that in your head. So, yeah, it was a big plant. It took me, if I'm on the 3rd floor, we would have a meeting, 2nd floor or whatever. They would tell us where to go. So, depending on where you were working, and where they needed you, it took me like almost, we have like half-hour breaks and stuff like that, 20-minute breaks. It took me like 10 minutes just to get down if you wanted to go to your car.
Okay.
And that's more than half my time. It's huge plan, but yeah, there was I had a couple friends that when I quit working there, that I would ask them like, how's everything going over there? Like they were still going to work. And I heard all these, and now you over here, at least over here in Michigan on the radio, they're asking people to get hired, and it will give you $1,000 right off rip. $1,000 to come work for Amazon right off rip.
So are they wearing masks?
Yeah.
They wearing masks?
Say it again.
Are they wearing masks?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. But I'm saying if that doesn't, I mean that says it all right there. They're giving you $1,000 in your bank account just to come work for them.
Now, when you worked there before all this, but were you guys? You said you had a part and it came to you, and you had a pod that would come and you put it in there. Did you guys wear gloves and stuff like that, or? If we wanted to, but no, we're basically taking stuff out of totes, taking. Gotcha. So it's community things that are everybody's kind of touching. Oh yeah, together. So everybody's touching something. Yeah. And it used to be like yellow totes, everything being there, from kids' earrings to men's bands. Whatever. Yeah, mm-hmm. and then it became all of the shit that I buy every day. Right, but it became we would get boxes and had to open our own boxes and stuff like that. So there was a lot more hands-on. So
and that's probably why the numbers went through the roof. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know how real that number was, and then if actually, what are they doing for their employees? I mean, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, I heard they weren't doing nothing.
Yeah, I've heard both. One of a friend here, business owner, his girlfriend has worked for them for years, and he said that she had people in her area that had gotten it, and they literally had one bottle of sanitizer that they all were kind of trying to get to, which was, far away from each other, and they're all trying to get to this one bottle, and then half the time it wasn't filled, and they provided them with gloves, one pair. So what do you do at the end of your shift?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So it's very dysfunctional, and not for the amount of money that they make. They should definitely be providing something, some PPE, some precautionary measures and protection for them. But
Your thoughts, John?
Well, I mean, the burden is on the employer by far, and many employers are not doing nearly enough. But I mean, I go into places and I see face shields without masks, and people think that that's working, like a sneeze guard
Right.
And I personally wear a bandana because, I mean, I don't want my beard to get all crumpled by my mask, by my
Yeah, can't fuck up the pretty.
by my N95, right?
That's my line. Don't fuck up the pretty.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You're more guarded with your beard than you are with the mask, probably. So I mean,
Yes,
that's extra protection.
much more so. This is my N95. But no, you know, it's a lot of it is limited information. I mean, we assume one day it's droplets, one day it's airborne. You know, is it transmittable by you taking out of those bins and putting those earrings into the box and send it? Well, no, we don't believe it is. But next thing that they're going to say is, you know what? That guy at Amazon that had it 3 days ago touched your package, and you know these packages need to be recalled because we just found out that the infection is actually, you know, not tactile borne.
Yeah,
but-
Now-
and you know what? You know, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say, you know, like I just started working at Ford's, and we had a 3-day orientation, and they told us the last day they told us if you're working next to somebody, get to know them, ask them their name, because if you know if you would happen to catch COVID, at least you know who you caught it from, and we know, and then so you know such and such, which makes sense and stuff like that. So
Tracker
I
system.
got to know people and I asked their names, and you know I didn't write it down or anything like that, but you know, and I thought that's a good idea. You know, I mean that's those are the things that companies should do and stuff like that, no matter what it is, you know.
Now,
But
you know,
yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
yeah, that's really a good, that's actually a really good system too, the tracker system, because a lot of people are so divided and scared to talk, or, you know, don't even have a tickle in your throat, because if you do, you're going to get, you know, tackled or something. So,
Right. No, for sure.
But, you know, you had said everybody has their own, it's the, you know, personal accountability, which is absolutely right. But with all confusing information that's being given, CDC and the president, don't you think that those two entities should have some accountability for feeding the public who might not be as forth aware to finding out information on the confusion? Like, there should be some accountability for that. I know we have to take self accountability and awareness and responsibility, but it's kind of hard when you have the CDC switching things up and then you have a president downplaying it for 7 months. I mean, where's the accountability for that? It's not all good.
I mean, he's been a horrible beacon in regards to wearing the mask, even if he doesn't want to, even if he doesn't. Nobody's gonna make him, and he's just a little child. He obviously knows something. He can get hydrochloroquine, you know, if he needs it, right? Because he can get anything he needs. But I think no matter how viral it is, and no matter how many people tell him the importance of wearing a mask and its virulence, I hate that word. I can never say it. Communicability. He's, you know, some people are just going to be obstinate, and I'm not going to wear a mask because I don't have to, and I don't want to. And now we're seeing, obviously, that
he's
sick,
the leader of the United States.
And that's,
you know, and
that's why that's why a majority of the people like him, because of his big swinging.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, and
we call that small dick energy over here. I don't call that big dick energy. I call that small dick energy.
Compensating.
It's little dick energy, but okay.
Well, big dick syndrome, right?
Yeah, no big schlong swinging.
We had a conversation that you were today, which is a convenience store, I think you said. And everybody, you know, it says mask, but you know, there's not a security guard there saying, "Oh, you got to have a mask, right? You got wait a minute." And you said this one guy didn't have a mask, and one of the patrons came up and said, "Where's your mask?" are we coming to that where we are policing each other and saying, "Where's our mask?" And I know you
Yeah.
said, "Lady, how old are you?" You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of my space. What are you talking about? Like,
Right. We should be like that.
into that? Where you know we're checking people at grocery stores and say, "Hey, fucko, where's your mask?" Are we doing that?
I give this stare. I'm just like, alert, you should probably stay away from me.
Right.
Well, I have
You know,
my
go ahead.
she'll nudge me and be like, "Oh, but that person doesn't have a mask." You know, she's 10 though. You know what I mean? She's 10.
Right.
You
Smart girl.
have adults that are walking up to other adults and say, "Hey, where's your fucking mask at?" So are we at that stage now where we're checking people in the public and saying, "Hey, where your fucking mask at?"
I don't know if that's accountability or if it's being nosy or a little bit of both.
I think it's accountability, it's nosy, it's fear, but it's also confusion.
Right.
Like we've been saying, it's confusion. You know, for me, having a compromised child, and I've said this before, I've always been cautious. That's the reason I moved from Detroit to Arizona, because Detroit is a very sickly state. 8 months of cold, you can't shield yourself from people passing this, you know, colds and flus and pneumonias around. I feel like it breeds there. So for me, I'm constantly conscious. I open doors with my feet or my elbows. I never, you know, breathe into an area that I see somebody is coughing or sneezing. I've just always been on alert. And so, you know, everybody's in this panic and it's different for them, but I've been living this life for a while. And sometimes it kind of feels good to see other people living the way that I've been living for the past 15 years.
So
I like it.
Well, guys and gals are nasty, right? So I go to so here in Alex, here at gas stations, they have bathrooms, right? Not in Detroit, you can't fucking find a bathroom.
Yeah, I don't go in them, but yeah, they do have bathrooms.
You can't find, right? So I frequently visit QT, right? I'm taking piss, right? And you don't know how many disgusting motherfuckers will fucking take a dump, will fucking piss in the urinal and just walk the fuck out, right? So now we got COVID, right? So I've had that conversation, a guy, taking a piss and he, and I'm like, hey, hold that door. Let me wash my hands because I don't want to grab that door after you just didn't wash your fucking hands. So you hold that door. Is that okay? And right? So he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, maybe it's because I have girls and I worry about them, right? But I've had conversations in the bathroom like, hey, dude, hey, hold the door, hold on. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, let me wash my hands. I don't want to touch that door. You know what I mean? So is that the same thing that we're saying?
No.
Where's your fucking mask? Because
that might be asking a little bit too much.
No,
that might be asking a little bit too much, in my opinion, because like you know what I mean, like that might start a fight.
So you think
if you're in Detroit, I mean, just people are funny, but I would never. I'm the type of person that when I would buy a movie ticket, I want to sit away from everybody. When I go to a sporting event, I want to sit away from everybody. I want to sit at the end of I'm just, that's the way I am.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for anybody else, but that's the way I am. I want to sit so I can get up, go to the bathroom, go to the restroom, take my daughter, whatever. I like to stay away. When I go to a shopping mall, whatever, I park. I don't care how long it is. Walk. I'll park away from everybody. I don't like being by nobody. Maybe I hate people. I don't know. I hate people I don't know. And that's the way I am. I just feel like it keeps things from happening.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm a hand washing shamer. I used to Whenever I would go on a date and like say we were at the movies or wherever, and he'd say, I got to go to the bathroom, and he'd come back, I would purposely grab his hand to see
Oh
if I
my
could
God.
feel any wet in between the fingers. And if there was no wet, I would never call him again because
That's kind of that's
And then I'd-
kind of cute
yeah.
though. For real,
I'd bust out the
I
hand
like that.
sanitizer. I'd pretend I was like, oh, there's something on my hand. Here, you want some sanitizer?
Right.
'Cause
That's
the whole
awesome,
time
though.
I'd be thinking like, oh my God, I'm totally touching his hands that were on his nuts. And I don't know if he washed it. And then there's
Right,
piss. Did
right.
he poop? What's going on? Oh,
Hey, he's
I can't
gonna
even
put his
enjoy
arm
my
around you.
movie. He's
you
got
know, and
shit
all that
hands.
stuff,
I
so.
can't even touch his hand. He's got shit hands. I don't know. So, I'm a hand shamer.
Right. There you go. Yeah, I was about to say that. The yawn and reach around. Yeah, for sure.
Totally me.
Tori, am I wrong by shaming a guy if he walks out the bathroom? Because I know you women do it all the time, probably, right? And they get more embarrassed, I think, because if a girl, just took a dump and she walks out, you're like, hey, you know what I mean? And they're okay with that. But if
Wow.
a guy, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, if somebody doesn't wash their hands, I'm instantly, I'll instantly tell whoever I'm with, I'm like, that girl didn't wash her hands. She's dirty. Imagine what else
Right.
is dirty if she doesn't
Right,
wash her
right.
hands. That's what I think.
Hey,
What
look,
else is dirty on you if you're not washing your hands?
Story. At my old job, in the summertime, they would make like Gatorade in the lunchroom, and in the big Gatorade jugs and stuff like that. The barrels, and I guess there was probably more than once. Walk in there, and they were like, "Hey, man, drink that." Like, why? Our supervisor, Gene, he was like, he just stirred it with his arm. We were like, what? What? He stirred it with his arm. Like, yeah, he opened it up and he stirred it with his arm. We was like, oh my God, are you serious? So when when I was on my lunch with whoever I was sitting with, we were watching everybody that would come in and get a little cup of Gatorade and stuff. It was like, oh my God. So I ain't never drinking up from here again, man. But and he really did it. That was crazy, man. I was like,
Obviously pre-COVID.
oh yeah, that was like years ago, but still, that's so nasty.
That's what made the orange drink
My
at
goodness.
McDonald's so good.
Oh, don't say that, because that's the high C. Oh, don't say that. That's the only drink I like from McDonald's. Oh, you ruined it now. Sorry. Jeez, I'm never getting
You're
that again.
welcome.
I ain't never getting that again.
So, Tori, Melania, she had a secret audio tape where she's ranting and raving. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I did.
Yeah, what was your thoughts on that? I thought that was bizarre. This is before they came out to they had COVID, but what was your thoughts on that? I thought that was,
I think a few things. I think it was a little selfish.
Right.
I think it was whiny. I think it sounded to me like I was listening to a rich woman whine about things that she, shouldn't be whining about. That's what it sounded like to me. She complained about one of the news stations not wanting to cover one of her attempts for one of the children at the border. She said some things about Fox. I feel like, I don't know. She just sounded like an ungrateful woman. So I don't know.
this is our first lady. When she made that speech a while back, I think it was about a month ago, I actually praised her because I know that originally when they had the RNC initial and they said that she stole Michelle Obama's speech, blah, blah, blah. Her last one, I thought she made her husband look normal. And that rant kind of was like,
entitled.
So I don't know. I mean, she wasn't acting first lady like. I had a
No, it showed her true colors,
right.
but we kind of already knew. So
Right. So, and John back here. So John, I know you didn't watch it, but they asked Trump about can he finally condemn white supremacy? And they asked him, can you just come out right now during the debate? They said, can you just denounce it, right? And he's like, well, what group? And Biden said what was the boys Tori, what was the name of the group?
Proud Boys.
Well, Proud Boys. And
Yeah.
finally came out and he announced it. I mean, we had the conversation. So John grew up in Peoria. It was mostly probably Mexican, right, John? There was a lot of Mexican when you went to high school. We had the conversation about racism a little bit.
Oh, excuse me.
Um, I think President Trump is racist. Definitely, if he cannot just, come out when they asked him front and center, can you just tell us that you're not racist? And he had a problem with it.
That was the only time he was quiet.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Great
That was
point.
the only time during the debate he was quiet.
He was quiet. So, like I said, John, he's a Caucasian guy, right, John? And you grew up with some Mexicans. They probably thought you were a token white guy, right? You were the Mexican cool white guy. Elaborate a little bit on that. I mean, like I said, I think they were talking about racism on Bill Maher's show. And a lot of white people are coming out and saying, oh, wait a minute, it's reverse racism, right? So growing up in Peoria with a lot of old school Peoria was Mexican. And before, Tori, you got here, it was a lot of Mexican, there was a lot of farm workers, a lot of cholos,
There's
right?
a lot of Indians too, and not just Mexican, right, Drew?
I can
mean,
see
like
that. That's the
Indian,
first thing I
like-
said when I moved here. I'm like, I'm a
Right.
minority here.
Yeah, it's like the 80s and 90s. So,
Right. Say the 80s, 90s.
racist, and you growing up, and like I said, most of we're Mexican, cholos. What's your thoughts? That's great.
Culture. Culture is everything. Our environment, what we're used to our father saying, the words that come out of his mouth, the way that our peers and our family treat others. It was an interesting growth period in my life, and I think everybody has to go through their own growth period of what our perception is and what reality is. And perception is simply perception, because we all have our own perception. And our I hate that phrase. Perception is reality, because it's not. Perception's perception. Reality is reality, and we each have our own of both. And so, being influenced poorly at a young age to think lesser of people is growing up and just feeling like whatever. It's a huge growth to be able to learn not to discount people and to seek to understand and to try to understand what you don't know. And I think that really has to do with so much more than just race. I don't vote on matters of federal matters. I'll vote for state issues, but I really don't feel like my vote counts. It doesn't matter. And I really don't care about, I don't really think I have a voice when it comes to it, when it comes to federal voting. Now, local matters, I feel like I do have a voice, but like everything, we have to seek to understand and appreciate that, that we need to be as tolerant as we want to ask of other people. And the whole race thing is it's unfortunate. It's long overdue. If I were starting a crusade that said elbows matter, and somebody came in and said no, knees matter, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you're taking away from the crusade. Just for a lay example. I think a lot of people tried to bastardize, the Black Lives Matter movement by saying all lives matter. Of course they matter. Of course all lives matter. But this isn't a crusade about.
Exactly.
This isn't a crusade about all lives. This is a crusade about Black lives that are long overdue with justification of equality. And you have it from all sides. You have two guys that are pretty dynamic and interesting to watch. Two brothers, I forget their names, that are they just giggle and laugh the whole time, and they're two good-looking twin brothers and they're complete capitalists. They're very, very right wing, and they
The black
and
ones. Now I can't remember their name. I know who you're talking about, though.
and they're fun to watch, but and they're interesting. But it's the perspective, it's the
They're
angle,
giving
and
the
unless
wrong message, right?
Mhm.
they're sending, they're
Right.
sending the wrong message, and they're like assholes, man. We all got opinions. We all got assholes.
right.
Few of them are dirty, and most of them are full of shit.
Yeah, and you know what, John? And you brought that up, and it's like about the all lives matter and all that stuff like that. And it kind of, when I see stuff like that on social media, I mean, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and sometimes I go on other stuff that people are not familiar with, like Up Live and stuff like that, and it kind of confused me, and I was like, dang, should I, and I see other people's posts, and I'm not a follower. My father taught me, like you said earlier, the way we're brought up, and growing up in the 80s and stuff like that, I was taught not to be a follower, be a leader, whatever, whatever that may be. And just, whether you're just doing something positive or something like that. But I see a lot of stuff social media posts, and it kind of during the COVID and all that and the Black Lives Matter thing. And I was like, should I like speak up for my own race, even, and be like, oh, all Mexican lives matter. I see people doing that and stuff like that. And, say, brown, hashtag brown and proud and stuff like that. And but when I found myself almost posting stuff like that, I didn't post it because I felt, I was like, that's disrespectful. It's just disrespectful. And I had some of my friends tell me, oh, well, how, like, you watch comedy show and, the black comedians say, oh, they make fun of the Mexicans, but then they kind of put us together because we kind of went through the same thing, just in different ways and stuff like that, with all of that. And it's like, I don't want to, it's not about one, nationality or nothing like that. So I just don't post it. I just don't do that because I feel like I'm disrespecting the matter that's going on right now. And I can, like I bought a shirt, Eddie Guerrero shirt, Latino Heat, a wrestler, passed away years ago, and I posted his shirt. That's fine, but when you start diving down into the other things and stuff like that, I just feel like it's disrespectful. And I was like, yeah, okay, but it's totally different. It's not about us. It's not, you know what I mean? So just don't post it. You know what I mean? Just
I think
time and
Oh,
place
go ahead,
for
John.
everything.
No, you please.
So I think in regards to, like you said about people saying all lives matter when that's not what that's not the problem at hand that we're looking at. It absolutely is disrespectful. Like you said, the elbows and knees. That I always
Right.
use the analogy when you go to a funeral and they're talking about the person that passed away, they say, they died from, cancer, and you don't just stand up and go, well, all, it's not just breast cancer, all cancer deaths matter, or all,
Right.
deaths matter. My mother passed away from a car accident. You don't do that. Like we're talking about the person at hand and the problem that's happening. Or when you're raising money for breast cancer, you don't think, well, all cancers matter.
Right.
No, we're raising money for breast cancer. But in regards to what Alex said about Mexicans, the Latino ethnicity, I feel that it's less disrespectful for y'all to go ahead and say, brown lives matter, because
Right.
one, you are brown, but you did get shunned too. I mean, look at the
Right.
whole, let's put up
Right.
a wall because you all are criminals, drug dealers, and rapists. Like,
right.
that was terrible. And some of the best people I
Go
know
ahead.
are Latino and Mexican and, of that descent. So in a way, you
Right.
are facing the same challenges. It's
Right.
all the Karens and Kens that want to stand up and go, well, I'm proud to be white. That's okay. And it's just fine to be proud to be white. But, or said, well, my parents worked hard for everything and I never had anything happen to me. That's fine too. But your privilege here is that the color of your skin didn't make it any harder for you.
Right. Right.
And they
right.
missed that point. They
And
missed
it
that.
And it goes back to what Jonathan said. It's all about how you
Perspective.
perception is everything.
And it was the
How
Hodge
it doesn't
twins.
matter what.
That's the name
Yeah,
of
it
the
doesn't-
twins, the Hodge
Oh,
twins.
okay.
The Hodge twins,
Okay.
yes.
The Hodge
yes.
twins. It came to me.
No.
I was gonna get it.
Yeah, 'cause I
there's
was
something
curious
else.
about I was curious about who you guys were talking about, but
No, there's some Uncle Tom ass.
right. But
Okay.
it goes back to what
I want to
what
pull
John-
their
what-
black card. Like, what the fuck?
How do you,
No, it goes back to what Jonathan said though. It's about your perception, and it doesn't matter the color and your race and ethnicity. It's about how
No,
you
it's how you are raised.
how you present yourself.
and you present
Always,
yourself and your
100%,
perception
but-
and
right.
you know the empathy you were taught growing up
Right,
and
right.
to treat the janitor and the CEO the same.
Right.
And I absolutely, and that's the rare thing you see. And treating the janitor and the CEO the same is probably one of the biggest compliments that I get, that I've had over the years. Is end of the night, doing stuff, bagging up the trash and making it easier for the cleaner, and saying hi to him, and then finding out that it's the boss's brother that comes and cleans every night. And you know what I mean? It's like, man,
Right.
and getting that compliment so many times of just, you're right, the janitor and the CEO.
And people
it's-
are going to remember that. They're going to remember. They're not going to remember what you said or those. They're going to remember what you did and how you made them feel. Period.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, that's working from the inside out. And people, what you said about the perception and perception being reality. No, perception is perception and reality is reality. And you make your own reality with your perception. But not to say they're the same is not. So
Kindness
definitely.
spreads. Kindness spreads. It does.
sprinkle that shit everywhere.
how do you guys categorize, you say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. How do you categorize the injustice they're saying 401 years now? Who makes them more important? You got the Jews, you have the Native Americans, the blacks, they're in chains. How does that, because I talk to some black people and I've seen them talk and they say, I think our injustice is the most important. How do you categorize that as a citizen? How do you categorize what's more important? Black Lives Matter, or they forgot that, they killed millions of people in an oven during, the reign of Hitler. You know what I mean? So how do you categorize what's more important? Is it just because this is the movement now? My parents, they drove down to Texas in the 60s and the sign said, no Mexicans and dogs. So how do you categorize that? You mean as a voter, as a citizen, what's more important?
I think, maybe people have that perspective of what's more important because it seems like this is the one that's the longest outgoing. That this ongoing, this injustice itself has been the longest ongoing. Still to this day, people are shunned because of the color of their skin. Now, if you have a Jewish man and a black man, more than likely the black man's going to be shunned before the Jewish man, regardless of their, history and past of the injustices that happened to their people. And so when they say it's more important, maybe they're misspeaking in the sense of saying, I'm more important than you, but this is something that is still ongoing. We're not sticking people in ovens anymore. We're not doing those things. There's not concentration camps, but, we are showing injustice to people who are of a different color. And so I think when they say it's more important, it's the problem that's at hand and it's continuously ongoing. So yeah, it kind of is more important at this point to me.
Fair enough. Don, you want to chime in on that?
Categorizing in itself is I try not to have an opinion, and I didn't grow up as a young black man. I've seen the devastation. My oldest sister, I'm the youngest of 5, has 2 lovely, wonderful mixed children. I've seen the torment that my niece and nephew have gone through, not only from the ignorance of my household and what it's caused them, but from just the way the world's treated them.
Wow.
I'm a
Yeah.
Gentile, not a Jew, and you know, I have a lot of friends that that are Jewish, and for me not to have an opinion about the tragedies is completely unfair to the people that I love, and so at one side, you know, categorizing them all, I mean, the human race is pretty fucking sick and disgusting and incapable seemingly of treating each other like humans, and it's history is written by the victor, and America never was not great, so making it great again is another fucking mixed message of disinformation. Let's make it great again. When was it not?
It's a slogan.
Bag.
You know,
like
nothing,
but it makes the wheels turn in a direction that it shouldn't.
Right.
Let's make it great again, because seemingly somehow
it was horrible. Right.
It was broken. It was never broken. I mean, it is broken. It's always been broken, but it was never not great.
Right.
Categorizing. I mean, you can't.
Great point, man. Wow. You open my eyes, and it's been sitting right there the whole time. Yeah, it's a great point. But and you know what, Drew, I only, you know, like hearing what the both of them said, you know, we grew up, you know, you were back and forth from Detroit to Arizona. You know, I grew up around. Now I went to Catholic school my whole life. I grew up around
Same.
everything, every nationality, every race. I grew up. I had friends that were black, white, you know, Asian, like, you know, Philippine, like, and stuff like that. So, you know, that's one thing that I take out of, you know, my mother and my dad busting their ass to put me in a Catholic school and hoping I get a good education out of it and stuff like that. And it wasn't even the education, you know, everything that was being taught that I learned the most out of. It was being around all these, you know, nationalities, and I grew up around.
Catholic school girl too.
And I had a lot of friends.
Pot.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's crazy because, like, no, you learn a lot. You learn a lot from growing up in the street, or whatever you want to call it, and, you know, going to Catholic school and stuff like that. And I went out, you know, no, I didn't graduate with everybody like I was supposed to, and but I still continued my education, and I moved out to my sister's, and I went to an adult ed, and it was crazy because, you know, I'm like 20 years old, 20 years old at that time, 2000, and I'm around these younger people, and they're acting like I seen who I was and acting like, and I was like, oh my God, like I could have finished school like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And that's how I was acting and stuff like that. So everything came real easy. Finished up my school, got my not my GED, my diploma. And it was just crazy to be around certain people because I came from Southwest Detroit, and there's certain people would say, oh, that's Alex. Oh, he came from Detroit. You know, he's gangster. He's this, he's that. And I used to be like, don't label me that, man.
We get that label.
That would make me mad. I was like, don't say that. I was like, because you don't even know me. You don't even know me. You don't know where I came from. Just because I came from Detroit, I'm a gangster. I'm this, I'm that. You know, so yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy the way, you know, people label other people and stuff like that. And I didn't like that. And I made sure I let them know, like, don't talk to me like that, because you don't even know me. I'm not no gangster. I grew up with two parents that raised me right. You know, two older sisters, and like, you know, I ain't no gangster. I'm not. So, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, like you said, like John said, perception is everything, man. And it's crazy how people get labeled so easy. It's a crazy world, man.
Did you hear me?
It really is. And
did you hear me?
What'd you say?
I said you're a gangster.
No. Right. I was like, no, I'm just a big kid, as you can see. I'm just a big kid, man.
I wear this
you know?
Hulk shirt to intimidate you. I really am not a gangster.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it's crazy.
Racism topic, and we'll continue always to talk about it.
I don't have the pythons, you know what I mean? So I gotta just.
Okay.
Just wear the shirt.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but Dr. Dre won the first battle. The judge rejected his wife's
I knew you was gonna bring that up.
$5 million payout expense. So I'm gonna go to Tori. Tori,
Right.
what is your thoughts? Because I know you were rooting for her.
I am. I am. I now, like I said, I don't know, obviously, all of her things that she listed for the amount of money she needs is probably bullshit, but she had to put in a label on why she needed it. But when you're with somebody for that long and you're part of their empire and you've been an active part, I believe that she deserves a certain amount. While they're in litigation on what the outcome is going to be. I'm not doubting that she spends that amount of money monthly. I mean, when you're that rich, that's what tends to happen. Money is disposable to you. So I was kind of rooting for her, but I think her snatching that money out of the accounts unlawfully, the record label accounts or
Why is it unlawful?
what was that?
Why is it unlawful? They're both on there.
Well, the first withdrawal, I believe, was done legally. The
First
second
withdrawal.
one,
That just sounds
Okay,
shady.
okay.
The first withdrawal.
there was two of them. The first one was larger. The second one was only like 31,000 or
So
something.
she was just getting her nails done the first time.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Listen, they're
joking.
expensive, okay?
I know they are. I'm joking.
So the first one, she was definitely on, the label, and she said, well, you want to play hardball? I'm going to snatch this money up. The second one, she was already removed, is from what I've read and, researched on. And so at that point, she didn't have rights to that $31,000 that she took. And I think that kind of screwed her over. I think,
Right.
Again, Dr. Dre, we're not talking about 2020 Dr. Dre. He's pulling out NWA Dr. Dre right now. So NWA Dr. Dre probably slipped a little something to the judge, or maybe they played golf together. There's something going on there where he was like, okay, this is my homie, and we're gonna say no go. You're gonna have to scale back on getting your nails done and your donations and $130,000 a month in clothes.
She's claiming that
So
she's getting death threats. She's saying that they're telling her, you need to back down or we're going to hurt you. Do you
I
think,
believe it. I
do you-
believe it.
Do you think that's liable? I mean, you think that's happening? I mean,
Absolutely. It's Dr. Dre.
but Dr. Dre is turned into Suge Knight now.
He is a gangster. Unlike Alex, Dr. Dre is a gangster. Like, he might not be the old Dre right now, but don't bring it out of him. It's one of those things. I'm not a killer.
He
but
is.
don't push
He
me.
is really quiet. He is really quiet and
Real G's move in
sometimes-
silence,
Yeah.
like lasagna.
So, You never. Yeah, I can kind of agree with you. So, Dreek, real quick before you let Jonathan talk. So, you just got this update from yesterday, right? You seen what happened? That she didn't get. You seen that his wife didn't. She got denied, right?
Yeah, got denied, yes.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah,
I was
she-
gonna send it to you, but I didn't get a chance. I just.
How do you feel about that, John?
If it was up to me, you motherfuckers would stop coming up to me with their hands out, looking up to me like you wanting something to see. When my last CD was out, you wasn't bumping me.
Word!
Oh man.
Oh! Boom! Shots fired.
Oh my God.
Bang! Gang! Gang!
He just read my mind. He read my mind
And
while
that's
you were
my
talking.
exact
I'm like,
point, John. My
oh my
exact
God.
point.
So, John,
oh man.
how long have you been married?
Me?
Yes.
18.
18.
Hey.
18.
Hilarious.
Alex has been through divorce. We've talked about this in the past.
I'm sorry. That was funny though.
How
That was
Sorry.
funny. That was good timing, man. I'm sorry. That was great. I can't get it out of me.
I'm just here to be entertaining, guys.
Same.
I didn't expect that. That was great timing. That was awesome.
18 years. They were married at 20, right? Tori, something along those lines, 20, 24 years or whatever.
Yeah, 24.
My parents been married, I think, almost around 50. I'm trying to
Wow.
doing the math. I think 57. Um,
Wow.
and hey, I tried, but I couldn't. Um, it's tough being together for 18, 24 years. You guys are going to have your ups and your downs. But I just don't understand from my viewpoint when I went through divorce. I kind of said, and God forbid, hopefully you never go through that. But I said, you know what? Give her what she wants and what she deserves to a point. Would it make more sense that Dr. Dre says, look, honey, here's $2 million, go away? I mean, because I know I did that at we were doing negotiation through the divorce. I said, look, here's $1,800. I'm going to pay all the bills at the house for the next 2 years. Just leave me the fuck alone. Don't you think Dr. Dre should be a little more smarter than that? I mean, like I said, you've been married 18 years. God forbid you get a divorce next week. Don't you want your wife? I mean, because I have kids with my wife. I just wanted her to be okay, right? I know Dr. Dre doesn't have any small kids with her or whatever, but don't you want her to be okay at the same time? You say, you know what? I want her out of my life, but I want to make sure she's okay. I mean, your thoughts, John?
In my experience, I'd give her, 2/3 over half. I mean, women, our wives, our counterparts make us who we are. And especially a man like that, a man of success.
Right.
I mean, she deserves half at least. Maybe not more than half, but I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my initial go-to. I'm rooting for her because we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, like I had said before. And for her to be with him for 24 years, and he is, such a man of success. And again, we haven't seen a bunch of scandals or, Dr. Dre's with all these hoes or anything that have popped up.
Right.
She's doing something right. She's been his
Right.
backbone for 24 years. And we heard he had a drinking problem and there was some, physical stuff that has happened, and she's not leaking things to the press over those 24 years and really sticking with him and building him up. She did some management, a lot of things. I believe that she deserves her fair share. Just because the name is Dr. Dre doesn't mean that she wasn't part of that entity.
Right.
So
takes a lot more than one person. Everybody needs help. So yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. He didn't
That
make
was
it there
his
alone.
partner.
Yeah,
That
he
was
didn't make
his
it there
partner.
alone.
They're just being petty right now. There's a lot of emotions going on. They're built up. She's hurt. He's hurt. And that's what happens when people are hurt.
No, but
They hurt each other. Hurt people
Right.
hurt people.
Right.
what I was bringing up to you, John, is doesn't it come down to brass tacks? Let's just negotiate what you want, and we'll come to a happy meeting. I'm a negotiator, right? So just tell me what you want. I'll tell you what I want, and we'll come to a fucking happy medium so we can get this fucking over. Isn't that how you do it as a businessman? That's the way I look at it. Everything is a negotiation, right? That's the way I look at it.
I wouldn't call marriage necessarily negotiation as much as it is a compromise.
Compromise, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure something needs to be negotiated, but I have a beautiful home and a beautiful life, but none of this is worth that much to me. I'd be happy leaving with a couple boxes. Obviously, I wouldn't be happy leaving at all. Right. But this is the world I have was created and basically provided by my wife and my hard work togetre. But ultimately, she's the boss, man. Women are the boss. They just are. Like
John wears the pants, but she picks them out.
Yeah, I'm the king of the house until she gets home.
I love it.
Right. and then I'm the jester, I don't really have a,
No, I said funny because I think when Gotti was going through some of the stuff, the government was coming up. They're like, are you the boss of the Gambino family? He's like, No, my wife is. And you know what I mean?
He earned a lot of points from that one right there.
Right.
He ain't
Jeez.
lying.
Yeah, my-
That's great.
Well, that's interesting. Culturally, though, I mean, in some cultures, I mean, you know, the wives are Nana's regaled as the matriarch of the family.
Mm.
For example, white people like to put grandma in a home because she's crazy. She's a pain in the ass. She's paid in the ass. Nobody wants to watch her. She's crazy. Let's stick her in a home. And in Hispanic communities, it's 10 times more prevalent, as well as other communities that somebody stays with Nana. Like they take care of Nana.
Yeah.
She is the matriarch of the family until the very last day.
Mhm.
And there is no ifs, ands, or buts. She could still smack you with a spoon at any age you are across the face. And
That's my favorite weapon. I'm Italian, Sicilian. My favorite weapon is a spoon. Ask my kids. I smack that wooden spoon on the counter. Everyone
That's
listens.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I go right for the spoon. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
with us, it's the
spoon.
slipper. With us, it's the chancla, the slipper.
Chancla.
My chancla is the wooden spoon. I'll throw it. It works like a boomerang.
Right.
It's magical.
That's funny as hell. It's a boomerang. Wow.
That snapback at wrist though.
Right.
I was having a conversation about he was sitting on the couch and we were talking about social media. He was talking about Facebook in general. And I said, can you tell me why couples have joint accounts? Just tell me why. And he goes, well, my motherfucking wife don't trust me. So I said, so whose account is? I said, so I'm so confused, right? I said, when it's your birthday, I don't know you, right? I don't know whose fucking birthday it is, right? I says, I don't know whose comedy. You know what I mean? Like, you make a comment or you post something, I don't know what the fuck it is, right? So, joint social media, joint Facebooks. You're being a woman, Corey. Do you have a joint Facebook, or is it just not that important?
No, I've never been about that whole joint Facebook. No, that's no, that I feel that the joint Facebook comes from a lack of trust. You've reached it somewhere because social media and Facebook and all these, outlets are, there's endless temptations that are there. And if you don't trust your other partner, or you breach that trust, that's when those come into play. I mean, unless now there's that small percentage who, I know a few women who have husbands who are clueless to social media, but still want their wives want them to be on there and want their friends to talk, or someone tries to get a hold of them and they're like, hey, where's John? And they're like, I don't know. So they'll put like their husband name on there, and literally I have a friend whose husband gets on at night and he likes to talk shit on people's comments. Like, that's all he does. He doesn't ever do anything else. He has a couple beers and he will talk shit, and you can tell when he comes on, because I'm like, oh, this what the fuck is this guy? Yeah. And he'll start talking shit, and she's like this super mom, and very, very proper. And then he gets on and he's like, yeah, fuck that. And I'm like, that was not her.
He's laughing. He's like,
yeah, under Cindy's,
So,
but the whole Facebook, I mean, why don't you just take your driver's license picture together at that point? Like, what?
Dang, right. Damn, two heads in one. That'd be hilarious.
No, but so, how have you met this real cocksman? You know what I mean? Like, he's a real cocksman. You've heard the stories. You're like, you heard he's got a super duper rep. And do you feel like you have to, you guys combine your Facebook because he's a huge cocksman? Are you there? I can't.
Who's that? Who are you talking to?
Sorry.
Are you talking to John or me? Yeah. No, sorry, you cut out.
I said.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you were breaking
All I
up.
kept
Drake.
hearing was Cocksmith. I'm like, who is this guy?
Right. I was
wanna
like, damn,
know
what are you
the
talking about, man? Right. It's
He
like,
sounds fun.
Serious.
oh my God.
Hey, I'm single. Okay, let's just say that.
Right.
Like I said, he's a huge cocksmith. You know what I mean? Like, got a
Mhm.
huge
There
rep.
it goes again.
Yeah. It's going in and out, going in and out.
Little bit. I think I get what you're saying. I think you're saying if you're in a relationship and your significant other is a cockface, that what
Yeah.
and he's untrustworthy. That's between you two. I think one, it's very emotionally exhausting to
Right.
be in a relationship with somebody where there's no trust. If that trust has been breached and you continue to stick around for that, then at that point, that becomes an issue with what you're willing to tolerate. And again, like I said before, what are your deal breakers? You have to sit down and have a healthy relationship and communicate about what bothers you and what they're doing. Now, if he's going and he's calling you, telling you you can't do certain things and you're this and you're that, but then turns around and he's liking and loving and commenting on all these same different women's things and making you feel insecure, that's an inside issue.
Right.
And at that point, you clearly knew what you were getting into or what you're sticking around for. Now, I know people who have made the no social media at all rule. And sometimes people need that because they don't have the self-control with that immediate gratification and temptation at their fingertips. And that now becomes, I think it's a form of disrespect to your partner.
Right. Sometimes you don't even need that in your life. You know what I mean? Like if you're happy and like.
Well, usually it's an underlying problem of what you're missing at home or what's going on in your relationship.
Right,
You're not
right,
watering your
right.
own grass. You're worried about the grass next door.
Right. That's just like not healthy.
No, it's very
At all.
unhealthy.
And it's like unnecessary, It's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
ridiculous.
And a lot of times, and to go even further, it could stem from you not being sexually pleasured at home properly, or you not having that open, communication of pleasure with each other.
Something's going on.
It's when you get that that love, that comment, you get instant pleasure, you get instant gratification.
Right.
And if you're not getting that from your partner and she's yipping and yapping or he's bitching and he's a bump on the couch and you got all prettied up and did dinner and you
Right. And he's on Facebook.
And he's scrolling, looking at every pic.
Especially on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram is even worse. So that's
sure.
an at-home thing. My first thing I tell people that that I coach or that I talk to that come to me and ask me, certain things, I say, you have to look at yourselves first. You maybe look at some therapy, some self-care, some self-worth. That's, social media, it's a double-edged sword. It can be a great tool and it can also just destroy things.
Yep.
So
I say, and I once
especially
in a blue moon,
today's time with everything going on too.
Right. Once in a blue moon, I post social media ain't for everyone.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? And I hear friends and certain people are like, oh, I don't get on there. Well, if you don't need to get on there, if you're like, I was like, no, I got criticized before many times. Oh, I don't get on there, this and that. I was like, okay, well, I kind of have to because this is what I do.
I've had,
you know what I mean?
And that's
for certain reasons, you got to know how to utilize it.
I've had a lot of guys that I've dated. They're like, oh, you're on social media. I network that way. I have self-control though. You can't compare me to somebody else or to yourself. Yeah. And even, I always say if things aren't adding up, take something out of the equation.
Right. So I was talking to a 23-year-old, and we'll go back to because John stepped away. I was talking to a 23-year-old that he was telling me that she's an entrepreneur. She has her own beauty shop or barber shop or whatever. And she's 20, I think. She's 20, and her boyfriend was 23. And, going back to the whole connecting to Facebook, and she's like, I am on social media because I'm trying to promote my business. And her boyfriend was basically trying to control her and says, I tolerate what you do But I'd rather you just be off social media. She's like, well, I'm a barber. I mean,
She's a business owner.
how do you expect me to do that? Like, I'm not a jealous type.
Okay.
And she's
Damn fly.
manipulating her what she can post and what she can't. And she was asking my opinion, and I said, I got to be honest with you. You know what
Dump them.
I mean? Dump them.
You're 23. Dump them. Period. If she's
I
watching,
thought you said dumb.
get rid of that baggage. You're
Either way.
23. You're 20 years old. You're young. You have your whole life ahead of you. You're a business owner. I'm assuming you're pretty because he's insecure about you being on there. Get rid of him, sweetie. You don't need him.
No, and so it came down to where, yeah, hey, you know what? He's insecure. And, and I kind of, told her, hey, that's exactly what's going on. And, I wish her well. And I told her, hey, you know what? You don't need him. You know what I mean?
Nope.
If he's doing that because of social media, he's afraid that, maybe guys will flirt with you. He's afraid or whatever. And I saw that what she posted and she showed it to me. And I was like, that doesn't mean anything. I said,
It's nothing.
need a guy that's comfortable in his skin and that he's comfortable with whatever you do. And that's why I brought up the whole combined social media, Facebook together. I just, like I said, it just seems weird to me.
I think that's
another
hilarious.
thing. If you make your
that's-
partner feel like they're your king or your queen and
Right.
you're not doing anything that's disrespectful to them, then they won't have that insecurity because they won't question it on thinking, well, does she like him better? Or, well, she did this, and I know people who even set the bar as, and I do it personally too. Whenever I'm in a relationship or I start dating somebody and I know that they're on my page, I don't excessively post pictures of me wearing a shirt like this. I don't because it's respectful. Now,
Right.
I don't go super liking. I'm not a super liker. I mean, I'll love people's pictures, but I love it. So I had a guy say, why do you heart everything? Because I'm a loving person. I think that's great. And they take it as flirtatious when I take it as giving that person props. I love to show people love. I tell everybody when I hang up the phone with them, I love them. I've had a guy who was upset about that. Well, you tell so-and-so you love them. I accidentally told the pizza guy when I hung up the phone, hey, okay, talk to you later, love you, bye. I say love you, bye to everybody. So when you spread that love on your partner, then it's going to have a trickle down effect. And that's, we need more love in the world. If we had more love in the world, especially like her boyfriend who's insecure, he needs to love himself. He shouldn't be.
Right.
I say that all the time. I don't say
I love you, Drake.
I say
I love you guys.
I don't say the love in the world. We need more fucking in the world, but
For sure, though. Damn.
We do. Yeah. Hey, and that's part of love. Fucking is pleasure and it's part of love. Now I'm not talking about like dirty gas station bathrooms.
Dirty gas stations.
no
Oh my
dirty
goodness.
I kind of like to talk to them. I don't know what to do.
I have people trying to call me after that comment.
Right.
So no gas station choke.
I mean, so you want to hear something funny? And I'm just going to say this, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but when you talked about our gas stations compared to here. So when my kids were younger, so my youngest son, my oldest son, I look for wings on him. My youngest son, God put a little swirl in him and was like, haha, here's the swirl, So he has a mouth and he would just talk shit. And we're from Detroit. And so a lot of times we travel 8 miles to get to where we need to if we don't take the freeway. And he would just, he's that kid that pushes your buttons. You'd say one thing and he, I'm going to spank your ass. Oh, no, you're not. I'm sitting on it. Like right back. So my number one threat, because I had to take him at one point, I had to take him into one of those gas station bathrooms and it stuck in his head. So whenever he would, talk shit, my mother and back in the day, oh, I'll put soap in your mouth, right? Hot sauce, whatever. So my threat was, I'm going to put soap in your mouth and it's not going to be the good soap. It's going to be the soap from the dirty gas station bathroom.
Oh, man.
No, I have not.
Yeah,
I've been to Philadelphia, so I'm
pretty close.
somewhat
Yeah.
Back to the joint Facebook, John. So I know you, and you have your own, and your wife has your own. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, we have, we have the conversation. You know, my wife doesn't fucking trust me. If your wife comes to you tomorrow and says, "John, we need a joint Facebook," what do you say?
Sounds so funny.
I think that's cool. I mean, I don't know. It's
Right.
okay, babe. If that would make you happy, you know what I
Right.
mean. I have friends that have separate bank accounts, and the wife reaches into her account from being a regional manager at Starbucks, and he reaches into his account from doing what he does, and they sit together once a month and all pay bills out of each accounts. And they also do laundry different. If his whites and her whites are sitting on the floor, he'll do his. What the fuck is that?
Wasting water. Right.
Like, hey, babe,
Right.
we got 4 piles of laundry on the floor, and I know you
just
like
did yours.
your darks done on cold water, so my darks now are done on cold water too. And why get married if you're going to have things separate? I understand that.
Right.
I understand the social media, but it's important to be careful. I get drunk, I post something in the neighborhood freaking, community thing about something stupid, and
You're that guy.
and then I have to erase it, and she's just like, "No, you did say that. I took a screenshot." So, if you don't have anything nice, don't say anything at all, right? And I learned so much from my wife. It's ridiculous.
What you learned from your significant other. So we're gonna wrap this up a little while. I know me and Alex talked a little bit about it, and I wanted to bring it to your attention, Tori. Thanks for. I know we're in Breast Cancer Month, so thanks for putting that there.
Right.
We were thinking of coming up with something for the podcast and possibly coming up with a and definitely pop off air, but we're thinking about coming up with a charity for abused women, and then they can donate money to the charity, and we can disperse the funds. I thought that was a great idea for abused women, and I know that you don't hear much. You hear about it, but
Yeah.
there's not enough done for women
Kind of breaking up.
in shelters. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the internet here. So I just wanted to tell you about that, but I know you're celebrating a birthday. I celebrated a birthday, so I'm gonna have a drink real quick. So
Oh, I don't have one.
Hey, I got.
Damn.
I just put a drink. So John, I don't know if we're
I'll
gonna.
take that.
I don't know if you have something you wanted to plug. This is the time. Do you have anything you want to plug in your businesses? Or?
I don't know.
Okay, ready.
Spend more yeah, deep
I'm
Eddie.
sitting next to my bar.
Oh
I
man.
have a full bar. Okay,
Looks like you set the bar high.
I do.
Yeah.
I want to be your Norm.
Hey, Sorry, you gotta stay happy. Happiness is the key.
Now, are you looking for
No,
some?
go ahead, John. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just looking for something, just in summary. I mean, our tolerance is not a result of our own position, but our position is a result of our tolerance. And I think that, those who preach tolerance are usually the least tolerant. And I think it's ultimately about taking a little more time to just love one another and trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. And ultimately, if you can't put yourself in that person's shoes and you haven't lived that person's life, then you probably shouldn't have an opinion. However, us all being human and understanding that we're one of the only sentient beings that recognize our own mortality and morbidity and fatality, let's all just be fucking nicer to each other.
There you go.
Cheers to that. Salute.
Sorry.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree with John. I always say sprinkle kindness everywhere, be kind to everyone.
Right.
I'm an empath, so I try to absorb that feeling and just make my understanding of things. Um, when things happen, I try to understand where the other person is coming from. I tend to put myself in a third party person, and I think more people, third party perspective, I think more people need to do that in life. And again, you know, we need more love in the world. Absolutely.
Right.
Seek to understand.
Absolutely. And not just to speak.
Alex, you got anything to plug before?
No, you know what? After what they said, you know, once again, you know, my father's passing. It seems like it was like yesterday, even though it was like, you know, it was over a year ago. And I just try to live by what, you know, everything he taught me, man. You know, my father, he was just a kind man, giving guy, you know, loving guy. Everybody loved him. You couldn't say one bad thing about him. And you know, I told my daughter one time, I said, you know what, I can never be like my father. As great as a man and you know, and loving and kind, all that is but you know, I can't be like him, but the one thing I can do is do the number one thing he always did, and that's just give back. Just, you know, even if it's a compliment, just be kind, man. Just, you know, be nice. And he was a loving, like I said, he was a loving guy. Everybody couldn't say one bad word about him. So I just try to, you know, take that and try to, you know, take it one day at a time. And I just try to, I just keep that. It's in the back of my head every day I wake up. So, yeah, just like Tori said, be kind. And that's basically it. You know, there's nothing, you know, you don't know what somebody's going through on a daily basis. So just one compliment, one kind gesture can go, you know, a long way. So
Make a world of difference.
that's, you know, I just try to go by that. That's all, you know.
Imagine a world if we all did that.
Right.
There you go. So
Beautiful.
I wanted to leave you with a couple points. Tomorrow we're going to be interviewing Gangster Melody. Itai is going to be performing live same time. So shout out to him, man. I really hope someone gives him this shot. He's pretty awesome.
Right.
Also, coming later this month, we're going to interview Jose Rivera from Detroit Forever 313. So he's going to be on the show on I believe it's the 17th. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. If you haven't checked out his gear, go check out his gear. He's on Michigan Avenue and 51st Avenue. And then the following week, we're going to have Makeup by Marisol. She does cosplay. So she does a lot of characters. You know, I sent Alex she does like the Hellboy, you know, it was Hellgirl.
Oh, exciting. October is my favorite month, so I love a great makeup artist.
Yeah, she's a makeup artist in Detroit.
Yeah, her work was amazing. What you sent me, that was pretty cool.
She's pretty talented. So it's Makeup by Marisol. So go check her out on Instagram. So I think that was about it. You guys don't have anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I want to give a shout out to just a friend of mine. He does videography and stuff like that for my marketing, well, not mine, but my friend Robert Courtney his marketing company. And it's, you can follow him. It's Visuals by Reggie B on Instagram. And his brother just recently started a clothing line called Evolve branded. So it's like Evolve, EVOLVE _ branded on Instagram. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out, you know, because they're supporting us and everything. Subscribe to the channel and everything on YouTube. So yeah, check them out on Instagram. And yeah, that's really all I got. You know.
That's all you got?
I want to give a shout out to Beauty Bar in Peoria here. The owner over there, Arlica, she's amazing. She's a fairy godmother of hair. If there's anything you need done to your hair
sweet.
or somebody tells you can't do, challenge accepted. Her work is absolutely incredible. She does everything from hair, skin, nails. But when I say her hair, she's an artist at heart.
Right.
She can do anything you want. Colors, extreme, cut, lows, highs, men's, basic men's.
She's on
as well.
Instagram? Is she on Instagram?
She is on Instagram and Facebook, Beauty Bar Hair, Skin, and Nails, and it's in Peoria at 75th and Cactus, Arlica. And if you go to her page now, I just saw she's doing a challenge. She's doing a health challenge right now for new clients. So what she's doing is she does a lot of hiking and stuff. So she's doing this little scavenger hunt where she's writing a gift on a rock,
Right.
and then she's giving you the location
Oh,
so that
wow.
you get out and you move around, because people aren't moving around right now. They're, you know,
Right.
they're
That's
quarantined, they're
cool.
scared, they're this. Yeah, so new clients, if you're an existing client, you can gift it to somebody. But if you're a new client, you get, you know, a certain percentage off, or you get a product or a service, and you bring in the rock and you show them, and it's just a great, you know,
Yeah, that's cool. That's
thing she's
neat.
doing, and her work is by far unprecedented. I mean, it took me a while when I moved here to even find somebody to go to and
trust.
and trust. And
Right.
she's just absolutely incredible, and she's got a great story too. So
Is
I like.
is it Beauty Bar 424 or no? Am I looking at the
No,
wrong
Beauty
person?
Bar
Okay.
Hair, Skin, and Nails.
Okay.
And it's in Peoria at 75th and Cactus, and her name's Arlica. You'll know her. She's a Latino, lots of tattoos, and she's a cool soul, very cool soul. So yeah,
Okay.
you guys check it out. Join in
Sure.
on the challenge. Go to her page. Get in some, you know, get healthy, get cute, keep your pretty up. You know.
I might get a manicure after 20 years.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, John. I really appreciate it, man. More than welcome to come on anytime. Just let me know.
For sure, man. Yeah.
I would love to.
That was great. So I'm going to leave you with an escort, and I wanted to. Thought it was pretty funny. I was thinking about it last night. So I pick up this phone call. This guy's a regular. I pick up a phone call, and he's like, he was an Oriental guy, Chinese guy, I think. Picks up. He's like, hey, you know, this is so and so. I was like, hey, dude, what's up? He's like, who you got tonight? And I said, you know, we got this girl, that girl. And he goes, can you send me a Mexican girl that looks Oriental? And I said, yeah, I got plenty of those, right? So he goes, well, make sure that he knows what I want. So this guy would like to be saran wrapped, butt naked. So he would be saran wrapped
Oh.
all the way around. He would like, you know, basically where his mouth was, you know, you cut it open or whatever. And he would like to be walked on with stilettos into his knee. So I had to tell the girl, hey, just giving you a heads up, you're going to have to saran wrap him butt naked and then stomp on him like you're a horse till he bleeds. And she goes, what?
Jesus.
Yeah, don't worry. Wow. What do you mean till he bleeds? And I said, you gotta puncture his skin. He wants to be in the saran wrap with blood. And she goes, I don't know if I can do that. I said, yeah, just go over there and try it, you know.
Just go with it. Try.
Let's
Give
go.
it a try.
I always tell girls, man, let's go. You know. So she comes back and she tells me, she goes, well, you didn't tell me that he had caca stains all over.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh.
And I go, what? And she goes, it was all stained and he had these tighty whities. And she goes, I tried. And you know, he would want you to jump on him and hurt
Use
him
wax paper then.
and bruise him. And then he goes, and I forgot to cut the hole where his mouth is, so I couldn't hear him.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
He didn't pass out from suffocation, did he?
Wait a minute. I did. And she goes, no. I you know, because he kept going, you know, I can't. And I said,
Oh my God.
I thought that was hilarious. I was thinking about this story, but I said,
Right.
make him bleed. And she goes, I made him bleed like I was on my period. I said,
Oh, okay.
Oh, on that note, I need
Just
a
went
drink.
real bad. Right.
Drake?
Right. Take one for me. Jesus.
steak at the grocery store. You know how the blood kind of was just leaking.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Great.
Right. Hey man. Well look, before we go away, I want to give my daughter. This Sunday is her 16. She'll be 16 years old. So I want to give my daughter Amaya a happy shout out and happy birthday. I love you, baby.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you, I
birthday.
appreciate it.
So,
Yeah, 16's exciting.
Jay Wilson, STEMI, got into a car accident the other day. He hurt his back really bad. He's in the hospital, so prayers out to him and his family and his kids. So
Yeah, prayers.
Yeah,
and
prayers.
thoughts, for sure.
morning,
Speedy recovery.
so I hope he's okay. But yeah, happy 16th birthday to Amaya. Oh my gosh,
Appreciate it.
I wonder if she's gonna start driving.
I don't know, man. All I know is our kids are growing up too fast, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Don't
So
blink.
I know, right?
right.
Embrace
Yeah.
it.
All right, guys, I want to thank you. Let me bring on the music. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Mariana.
Nice meeting you, John. Nice meeting
Bye,
you, man.
John. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Happy birthday, Kennedy. Much love, Eddie. Much love, baby. Thank you,
Yes. Happy
Hey,
birthday.
Tori, let me know if you want to do a joint Facebook account. Just let me know.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Oh my goodness.
Gas station bathroom type of love.
Hey.
Yeah.
You
Have
know
a
how
good
I
one,
do
John.
it.
Have a good one, John. It was nice meeting you, man. I appreciate you joining us and everything.
Talk to you later.
You
Bye,
Do it again.
everybody.
Do it again.
Be well.